Coming up on this edition of Cogeco News, online learning to be prominently featured this fall for Canadore College. Tens of thousands of passengers will not enjoy a cruise on the Chief this summer, and we meet the newest member of the North Bay Battalion. We welcome you inside the Your TV studio for this Tuesday edition of Cogeco News. Truly local, my name is Clark Heipel. Canadore College is trying a three-tiered approach when it comes to providing education this fall. It has to be different for colleges when it comes to this type of education compared to universities, as there's a lot of hands-on learning. The school and President George Burton issued a statement on this Tuesday. Our Greg Esterbrooks is standing by the aviation campus with this important update.
Going to do when it came to classes in the fall. Yes, a lot of universities can do online classes, but Canadore has so many hands-on programs, it was going to be next to impossible to do all their courses in a virtual manner. So the school has decided on a three-tiered approach. The college says it intends to deliver as many courses remotely as possible via information and communication technology tools, ICT, as best they can. Courses that cannot be delivered fully remotely will be offered through a blended model with a combination of electronic, online media, and face-to-face teaching. Those courses where remote delivery is not possible will be offered entirely through in-class instruction. Program-specific plans, as well as important and beneficial information on the various support services available at the college, will be communicated to students shortly, with continuous updates to follow as needed and when available. And to sum things up, Canadore President Burton adds that if things in the province continue to improve, there is a possibility of having students on campus as early as July and in bigger numbers come September. Back to you at the desk, Clark.
Well, thank you very much, Greg. And Greg will be back with your weather forecast a little bit later on. Stay tuned for that. A regional opening of the province of Ontario is still on the table when it comes to stage 2 and 3 of the coronavirus recovery plan. A regional opening would certainly favor Northern Ontario, as caseloads significantly lower than our southern counterparts. To discuss this and more, we receive a municipal update with North Bay Mayor Al MacDonald.
Depending on what the province is proposing, are we talking different stores? Are we talking the shopping mall? Until we know all those details, it is very difficult to say yes or no. But having said that, I think we are in a tremendous opportunity spot because we've been able to keep all our numbers low, and Toronto is really suffering. That as we come out of this pandemic, we're going to be ahead of everyone, no question about it. But until we see all the details, it's really hard to say one way or another at this point.
As reported yesterday on Cogeco News, the Chief Commander 2 will be docked for the entire summer. Tens of thousands of passengers will be without tickets, and that revenue lost in the millions of dollars in terms of tourism dollars for Northern Ontario and North Bay specifically. How much of a blow is this to our economy?
Yeah, I think all the cumulative effects of closures has definitely had an impact, and it's devastating. I can only imagine it's devastating to Rich, who runs the Chief Commander. We're looking at the college and the university and some of our businesses that can't open just yet. There's no question that this pandemic is, damaging our economy, not just here locally, but right across the globe. I think we've positioned ourselves extremely well. Our citizens are doing what they need to do, but as things start to open up, I think we're going to be one of the leaders in the province. But having said that, there's no question that this pandemic is having an impact on the economy here in the city of North Bay.
Gas tax rollout. Do you know what North Bay is being allotted at this point?
So no, not the exact number. And what was being proposed by the federal government was not new money to us. It was just meaning that they would pay it to us a little bit quicker or in advance. And to be honest, we're in strong financial shape, so that really isn't a benefit to us one way or another. We're hoping that there's extra money for us when it comes to our transit operations. We've made the adjustments, so we're doing well there. But the two areas that are getting hit hard would be transit and our airport. So we're looking for extra funding for those two areas. But the gas tax is something that we get each and every year, and unless they increase it, it's already in our budget.
We now are going to take a look at the COVID board as the newest data was released by the North Bay Parry Sound District Health Unit on this Tuesday. And this information was released at 3 p.m. You can catch it on our social media channels. 119 new tests have come in between yesterday as of 3 p.m. Cases remain at 27, 26 resolved, and 1 person passed away due to COVID-19 in the North Bay Parry Sound District. No one in hospital and no one self-isolating. We have an update on the Chief 2 on this June the 2. On Monday, history was made for all the wrong reasons as the entire 2020 sailing season was canceled due to COVID-19. As the decision to not sail this summer settles with the community, Captain Rich Stivrins addresses the difficult and emotional decision.
From a business point of view, it was a no-brainer, as much as I hate to say it.
That is Chief Commander 2 Captain Rich Stivrins, who's been living his summers on the lake since way back in 1994. The summer of 2020 will not be spent on the Chief by Captain Stivrins or the tens of thousands of passengers, many of whom are tourists.
Our season got shortened until after July 1 was when we were first able to run, but as a practical matter, it'd be a couple weeks after that. And then with the social distancing rules that are in place, currently we're allowed to have groups of 5 together, and we need 5 crew members to run the ship, so it doesn't leave a whole lot of space for selling tickets for passengers.
What opportunity does this give you and the crew of the ship to kind of retool and be in the best possible position to have a successful 2021?
Sure. Well, every year we always do upgrades to the ship to get it sort of more comfortable for passengers and on the safety side as well. It gives us some time to think through our operations and our cruising schedules and stuff like that when we're not in the fog of war, so to speak. We have expanded our food service offerings at the dock shop here. We've always had Farquhar's ice cream, but we've expanded into doing hot dogs and fries and poutine and stuff like that for the beachgoers or folks out for a walk. So we focus on that over the summer and keep a few more people employed, which is always a good thing.
The negative economic impact of no Chief 2 on the water this summer is in the millions of dollars.
We're talking about tens of thousands of people coming and taking our cruises and heading out, and those are people that come to town. They rent a hotel room, they stay overnight, they make it as part of a broader package. So it's definitely not only from us but all the other tourism operators that are facing some challenges right now. That's going to trickle back into the economy for sure.
For those that have been on the Chief Commander 2 with you on the megaphone, they know you're very passionate about the tours. What are you going to miss the most about not cruising in 2020?
The people, I think. I've got a little boat, so I can get out and get my fill of time on the water. But we have people that come every year. We meet their kids when they're just babies, and you see them grow up a little bit each year, and get a lot of big visiting friends and relatives market. So that's folks that are coming up to visit their grandparents or their kids or what have you, and the first thing they do is bring them out for a ride on the Chief, and we're definitely a big part of that, and we're certainly going to miss it.
News from the North Bay Police Service on this Tuesday. 2 North Bay men face a combined 15 counts of break and enter after local police concluded a lengthy investigation. 33-year-old Eric Joldoin and 27-year-old Travis Iman both face multiple break and enter charges. Joldoin faces 10 counts of break and enter, while Iman faces 5 counts. It is alleged between April 12th and 13th of this year, Joldoin acquired a set of keys for an office building on Algonquin Avenue. He used the keys over a 2-day period on the Easter weekend to gain access to a number of offices on 3 separate occasions. During one of these entries, the second accused, Iman, accompanied him. Stolen property included cash, electronics, And police have recovered some of the property. Jodouin remains in custody pending a bail hearing. Iman has been released from custody and will appear in court on the 4th of August this year to answer to these charges. We have reached break time here on this Tuesday edition of Cogeco News. Good news for Terry's Place. That and more right after this. Welcome back to Cogeco News. Great news for folks in West Ferris and North Bay for that matter who may be hungry tomorrow around the lunch hour. After more than 2 months of shut doors due to the coronavirus, Terry's Place in West Ferris is set to reopen on Wednesday. We caught up with owner-operator Terry Muir for the details on the long-awaited reopening. 8+ weeks for Terry's Place owner Terry Muir. She's set to partially reopen her restaurant on Wednesday at 11 a.m.
We still cannot have in-house service, so that's a no-go. We're going to do the takeout. I tried the takeout in the beginning, but I think people were a little too nervous to be coming out. And, you know, everybody was nervous at that point. And things have lessened off a little bit now, and I'm hoping that we will get some people in.
Now, you do have signs in your windows. People need to socially distance while they're here. What's going to be the process of people getting their food?
Well, we're only doing takeout. We're not doing delivery because we were finding that with delivery, because it was so busy in the beginning, and I'm sure it still is like that, that the food quality wasn't the same as if people are just coming and getting takeout, then they're phoning and they're more in charge of when they're receiving their order.
So you want people to call in ahead?
Yes, call in ahead. You can also come in and order as well.
Tell us about the menu. Is it modified?
No, everything is the same. We are just changing our hours from 11 to 6 during the week. But that's just Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we will be open on Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 3. And closed so far Monday, Tuesdays, because those are our slower days.
And it's safe to say you expect a few people waiting in line come 11 o'clock?
I'm hoping to see some regulars because they're missed, right? You really miss the people.
And what's your message to your patrons who may be hesitant about coming back?
Oh, don't be. We're taking all safety precautions that we need to. Hopefully we see everybody.
And Terry's Place is nestled at the end of the strip mall at Marshall Park and Lakeshore. It is time for another installment of the Entertainment Insider with Adam Contal. This Tuesday, Patrick takes a look at a dialogue-heavy film on Amazon Prime entitled The Vast of Night.
Hello everyone, it's Patrick Conta, the Entertainment Insider, here with a review from Amazon Prime's latest offering, The Vast of Night. I'll bury the lead here and let you know up front that I'm actually a very big fan of this movie. I watched it this past weekend and I found myself just completely entranced by it. But I should also warn you up front that I'm a big fan of shows like The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, The X-Files, and Black Mirror. And if you're a fan of that type of sci-fi, quirky kind of storytelling, then this movie will be right up your alley as well. This is the first time offering from director Andrew Patterson, and honestly, I think he did a tremendous job and shows an incredible amount of potential, especially given the very low micro budget that he was working with here. What I like about this film is that it really does play with the rules of filmmaking. And you can tell that the filmmakers were very passionate about this project because they break a lot of cardinal rules when it comes to movies. For example, the general rule is show, don't tell. You have a visual medium. You want people to see what the characters are doing, not hear what they are doing. But this film is very dialogue heavy, and there are a lot of long shots. For example, this scene here runs about 9 minutes long, and it's just this switchboard operator having a conversation, essentially giving us more information. There's a lot of different shots like this in the film where there are very long takes or just shots of people talking and talking and talking. But here's the thing, where other movies might have fallen flat with this, The Vast of Night actually really makes it work to their advantage. The writing is so crisp and smart that you could actually listen to the characters here have conversations all day long. So the acting in here, combined with the dialogue, actually makes it the kind of movie that you enjoy listening to. And I'm sure given that one of the characters is a switchboard operator, another is a DJ at the radio station, and a lot of the film is revolving around noise, that was probably intentional. There's definitely a lot of deliberate thought and action that has gone into this film, and it really, really shows. I'm actually quite surprised that a lot of the film festival circuit passed on this movie. I'm guessing it's because there's no real names here. Everybody involved is pretty much working on their first films. But honestly, this film demonstrates that you can still be a beginner and really put out something that is worthwhile of others with more experience in the industry.
Cogeco News, lots of positive feedback from your reviews in the community. Well, our Greg Esterbrooks has weather feedback for us. My best buddy in the news business is back right after this very short break.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Welcome back, everybody. Greg Esterbrooks here with your Tuesday forecast. One quick mention before we get to the actual forecast on a rather glum Tuesday. Some good news. A few weeks ago, I did a story on Ron Peugeot. He's a local realtor who wanted to shave his head to raise money for the food bank. Ron's initial goal was $500. By the time his head got shaved on the long weekend in May, he was up to $2,500. Now I hear from his granddaughter Emma, who cut his hair. He's about $3,600 strong, and the pot is still getting bigger. Good on Ron, and that's with very limited advertising, so good job. Now let's get to the forecast and tell you what's going to happen over the next few days, and will it stay this glum? Overnight, showers ending, but also a chance of a thunderstorm overnight. Fairly warm low of 12. Wednesday, small chance of showers, risk of a thunderstorm as well, and the high will be 22, humidex 25, UV index 3 or moderate. Cloudy periods overnight on Wednesday, chance of a shower, pretty good one, and a low of 9. Thursday looks good though, sunny, high of 22, cloudy overnight Thursday and a low of 13. Moving on to Friday, sunny again, high of 23, small chance of a shower overnight Friday and a low of 9. Saturday sunny, 18, a little bit below the norm. Clear overnight Saturday and a low of 7. The normals are, as we get to the almanac, 20 and 9. The high on Monday was 19, the low 2. That is it for the weather. When we return, the Battalion talk about their newest team member and much more in a Zoom conference that took place on Tuesday morning. Sports after this.
Sports is brought to you by Tag Construction for all your construction needs.
Welcome back to Cogeco News. It's time for your sportscast. The Battalion of North Bay wasted no time introducing their newest player today. One day after acquiring forward Matvei Guskov from the London Knights, they had him and general manager Adam Dennis talking about the trade on an online media call on Tuesday morning. Dennis is thinking the Battalion have acquired a top center for their team.
Matvei brings a lot of experience in our league coming into his third season. He played on some very good teams over in London for the past 2 years, and we really look forward to having him on our club and bringing in some veteran leadership as well.
I think I'm two-way forward. Actually, I think I'm a center. I've played in London as a winger, but I always played as a center when I was growing up in Team Russia, in my team growing up, CSK. So I think I'm more of a two-way center that can play really good the defensive zone and defensive zone. First, I'm really excited to join such a great organization. It's going to be a fun year next year. I think it's going to be more of a young team, as you said, but everyone is hungry for wins. You know, everyone is gonna go on the games as it's like last game. So everyone is gonna battle and do their best to win every game. So I think it's gonna be really fun year.
Adam Dennis was a goaltender for a very powerful London Knights team and knows Mark and Dale Hunter very well. I asked him, did he call Mark Hunter or did Mark Hunter call him?
He called me. I think any time that you got a player that's looking for an increased role, and especially when it's a guy that's done so many good things for your program, you look to try and find a good situation. And I know just in the conversations with Mark, he's got a familiarity with us, and we have obviously a familiarity with them. And we saw it just recently with Avery Winslow. When you get guys that grow up in a good program, you know that they've been developed. You know that they've been doing the right things for their before they got to you, and that was important for us. On the other side of it, I'm sure that Mark didn't probably want to play against Matt Bay too many times, so we become a good place, and knowing that we're going to treat him right and develop him the right way, I think gave some comfort to all parties.
Well, GM Dennis is refreshing the score tracker on Greg and I tennis games. And our Greg Esterbrooks cried foul on Monday night at the North Bay Tennis Club, which is up and running behind the North Bay Granite Club. Summer membership's only $200 or less. You can't beat that. Well, on Monday night, Greg couldn't, and Greg wrote this in brackets because Clark cheats, beat me, and he blamed one of his lost points on some miscommunication, and Greg in brackets put a blatant bad call to confuse his opponent, unbracket. Let's look and listen into the video evidence. So you'll see a shot coming up from Greg here, land right on the baseline, coming up. Right after this, we got a nice little rally going here. Okay. Greg sends it back, way in the backcourt. No, not yet. This is a long rally. Here it comes.
Shoot it. Yeah, I did. Hey, it's up. Get it. Oh, it was in. Huh? It was in.
So Greg claimed that I said it's out, but I think I said it's and then didn't finish the word. And then Greg blamed that lost point on me. Despite the miscommunication, I beat him pretty well. And we tied our third set just for kicks at 4-4. We look forward to getting back out there at the Granite Club. Summer membership's under $200, so why not get your membership, get some exercise, and follow all the COVID-19 protocols by socially distancing and washing your hands before and after tennis. Well, that does it for this edition of Cogeco News. Thank you so much for tuning in. As this program, alongside all other broadcasts from your TV right here in beautiful North Bay, remain truly local. Greg, my tennis buddy, will be back on the news desk on Wednesday. We'll see you then.